The journey of human civilization began not with the first humans, but with the formation of atoms 3 billion years ago. This cosmic perspective frames our entire history as a fraction of the universe's existence, yet showcases the extraordinary progress we've made in a relatively short time. From the emergence of Homo erectus 1.9 million years ago to the development of agriculture in Mesopotamia around 4000 BCE, we'll examine the pivotal moments that shaped our species. Discover how these ancient events continue to influence our modern world in ways you might never have imagined. The cosmic origins of humanity. The cosmic journey that led to the emergence of humanity began in the vast expanse of space, where the fundamental building blocks of life first formed. Approximately 3 billion years ago, the universe was a cauldron of primordial elements, primarily hydrogen and helium. These elements, forged in the intense heat of the early universe, would eventually combine to form the first atoms. For eons, these atoms drifted through the cosmos, seemingly without purpose or direction. However, the immense gravitational forces at play in the universe gradually brought these particles together, initiating a cosmic dance that would ultimately lead to the formation of more complex structures. As stars formed and died, they produced heavier elements through nuclear fusion and supernova explosions, enriching the interstellar medium with carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and other essential elements for life. The precise conditions necessary for these elements to combine into primitive life forms have been the subject of extensive scientific research. Scientists have identified several key factors that likely contributed to the emergence of life on Earth. One crucial element was the presence of liquid water, which provided a medium for chemical reactions to occur. Additionally, the early Earth's atmosphere, rich in simple molecules like methane and ammonia, was subjected to energy sources such as ultraviolet radiation from the sun and electrical discharges from lightning storms. These conditions led to the formation of more complex organic molecules, including amino acids and nucleotides, the building blocks of proteins and DNA, respectively. In 1953, Stanley Miller and Harold Urey conducted a groundbreaking experiment that simulated the conditions of early Earth, demonstrating how these simple molecules could form under such circumstances. Their work provided crucial insights into the potential mechanisms for the origin of life. The emergence of single-celled organisms marked a pivotal moment in Earth's history. These primitive life forms, known as prokaryotes, appeared approximately 3.5 billion years ago. They were simple in structure, lacking a nucleus and other complex cellular organelles. However, these early organisms possessed the fundamental characteristics of life: the ability to metabolize energy, grow, and reproduce. Over millions of years, these simple life forms evolved into increasingly complex organisms through the process of natural selection. A significant milestone in this evolutionary journey was the development of photosynthesis, which allowed organisms to harness energy from sunlight. This innovation not only provided a new source of energy, but also began to alter the Earth's atmosphere by producing oxygen as a byproduct. The accumulation of oxygen in the atmosphere set the stage for the next major evolutionary leap: the emergence of eukaryotic cells. These more complex cells, containing a nucleus and other specialized structures, appeared around 2 billion years ago. This development paved the way for the evolution of multicellular organisms and the explosion of biological diversity that would follow. As life continued to evolve and diversify, the stage was set for the appearance of the first hominids, our distant ancestors. The primate lineage that would eventually lead to humans diverged from other mammals approximately 65 million years ago. Over time, various species of apes evolved, with some developing traits that would prove advantageous in the changing environment of prehistoric Africa. The cosmic journey of atoms, which began billions of years earlier, culminated in the emergence of Homo erectus, approximately 1.9 million years ago. This species represented a significant step in human evolution, possessing a larger brain size, upright posture, and the ability to use tools. Homo erectus was the first hominin species to migrate out of Africa, spreading across Asia and parts of Europe. The remarkable journey from the formation of atoms to the rise of early humans demonstrates the profound interconnectedness of cosmic and biological processes. The same elements that were forged in the hearts of stars billions of years ago now compose the cells of every living organism on Earth, including humans. This cosmic legacy has shaped our species' potential in ways we are only beginning to understand. The dawn of human ingenuity. The emergence of Homo erectus marked a pivotal moment in human evolution, setting the stage for a dramatic expansion of our species' capabilities and reach. As the first hominid to venture beyond the African continent, Homo erectus faced unprecedented challenges that would have overwhelmed their predecessors. Yet, it was precisely these challenges that spurred the development of revolutionary adaptations, propelling our ancestors toward global dominance. Homo erectus possessed a distinct advantage over earlier hominid species: a larger brain. This increased cranial capacity allowed for more sophisticated cognitive processes, enabling these early humans to engage in complex problem-solving and adapt to a wider range of environments. The ability to think critically and creatively in the face of new challenges proved crucial as Homo erectus embarked on their journey into unknown territories. One of the most significant innovations of Homo erectus was the development of advanced stone tools. These tools represented a quantum leap in human technological capabilities, far surpassing the simple implements used by earlier hominids. With these more sophisticated tools, Homo erectus could hunt and gather more effectively, expanding their dietary options and increasing their chances of survival in diverse ecosystems. However, perhaps the most revolutionary advancement made by Homo erectus was the controlled use of fire. This mastery over a fundamental force of nature had profound implications for early human societies. Fire provided warmth, allowing Homo erectus to survive in colder climates and extend their range into previously inhospitable regions. It offered protection against predators, creating safe havens in an otherwise dangerous world. But perhaps most importantly, fire gave Homo erectus the ability to cook food. The impact of cooking on human evolution cannot be overstated. By applying heat to their food, Homo erectus could break down tough plant fibers and animal proteins, making them easier to digest. This increased the nutritional value of their diet, allowing them to extract more energy and nutrients from the same amount of food. The extra energy derived from cooked food likely contributed to the expansion of brain size in Homo erectus, fueling further cognitive development. Moreover, the practice of cooking had far-reaching effects on social structures within Homo erectus groups. The hearth became a central gathering point, encouraging social bonding and the sharing of resources. This may have led to more complex social interactions and the development of rudimentary forms of language and culture. The need to maintain and protect fire sources could have also promoted the formation of more permanent settlements, laying the groundwork for future human civilizations. As Homo erectus groups ventured out of Africa and spread across different regions of the world, they encountered a vast array of environments and climates. From the arid deserts of the Middle East to the frigid steppes of Asia, these early humans demonstrated remarkable flexibility and ingenuity, in adapting to new conditions. They developed specialized tools and hunting techniques tailored to local game, learned to utilize unfamiliar plant resources, and created shelters suited to various climates. This ability to adapt and thrive in diverse environments was a key factor in the success of Homo erectus. It allowed them to colonize vast swathes of the globe, from the tropical forests of Southeast Asia to the temperate zones of Europe. Each new habitat presented unique challenges, spurring further innovations and adaptations. This process of continuous learning and problem-solving laid the foundation for the rapid technological and cultural advancements that would characterize later human species. The legacy of Homo erectus extends far beyond their own time. Their innovations and adaptations set the stage for the emergence of even more advanced human species, including Neanderthals and ultimately Homo sapiens. The cognitive abilities, tool-making skills, and social structures developed by Homo erectus provided a crucial stepping stone in the evolution of modern humans. The rise of Homo sapiens. The emergence of Homo sapiens marked a turning point in human evolution, setting the stage for a complex tapestry of human diversity across the globe. Approximately 300,000 years ago, our species first appeared in Africa, joining a world already populated by other human species. For thousands of years, Earth was home to a remarkable variety of hominids, including Neanderthals and Denisovans, creating a rich landscape of human evolution. What set Homo sapiens apart from their contemporaries was a unique set of cognitive abilities that would prove instrumental in their eventual dominance. These early modern humans possessed advanced problem-solving skills, allowing them to adapt to a wide range of environments and challenges. Their capacity for innovation led to the creation of increasingly complex tools, surpassing those of their hominid relatives in both design and efficiency. Perhaps the most significant advantage Homo sapiens held was their development of complex language. This linguistic prowess facilitated more sophisticated forms of social organization and knowledge transfer. Unlike earlier forms of communication, the language of Homo sapiens allowed for the expression of abstract concepts, the sharing of detailed information about the environment, and the coordination of group activities on an unprecedented scale. This ability to communicate complex ideas proved crucial for survival and cooperation, enabling our ancestors to form larger, more cohesive social groups. The cognitive leap that allowed for complex language also paved the way for symbolic thinking and cultural expression. Homo sapiens began to create and use symbols, leading to the development of art and abstract thought. This capacity for symbolism played a significant role in shaping cultural identity and fostering social cohesion. Early examples of symbolic expression, such as cave paintings and carved figurines, not only served as a means of communication, but also as a way to preserve and transmit cultural knowledge across generations. As Homo sapiens ventured beyond their African origins, they encountered other human species that had already established themselves in various parts of the world. Rather than remaining isolated, evidence suggests that our ancestors interbred with these other hominids, including Neanderthals and Denisovans. This interbreeding had profound implications for the genetic makeup of Homo sapiens. By incorporating beneficial genetic traits from these other species, our ancestors enhanced their adaptability and genetic diversity. These genetic exchanges may have contributed to the remarkable ability of Homo sapiens to thrive in diverse environments, from the frozen tundras of the north to the arid deserts of the south. The adaptability of Homo sapiens was put to the test as they spread across the globe, encountering a wide array of climates and ecosystems. Their cognitive flexibility allowed them to develop innovative solutions to the challenges posed by each new environment. From crafting specialized tools for hunting in dense forests to devising methods for surviving in harsh Arctic conditions, Homo sapiens demonstrated an unparalleled ability to adapt and thrive. This adaptability was not limited to physical innovations. Homo sapiens also developed complex social structures and cultural practices tailored to their specific environments. They created diverse belief systems, rituals, and social norms that helped maintain group cohesion and provided frameworks for understanding and interacting with the world around them. This cultural adaptability, combined with their cognitive and technological capabilities, gave Homo sapiens a significant edge over other human species. As Homo sapiens continued to expand their reach and refine their abilities, the fate of other human species began to shift. The exact reasons for the decline of species like Neanderthals and Denisovans remain a subject of scientific debate. But it is clear that Homo sapiens played a significant role in this process, whether through direct competition for resources, the spread of new diseases, or simply outpacing other species in adaptability and reproduction. Homo sapiens gradually became the dominant human species on Earth. By approximately 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens stood alone as the last surviving human species. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in human history, one in which our ancestors would go on to develop increasingly complex societies and technologies. The cognitive abilities, social structures, and adaptive strategies that had allowed Homo sapiens to outcompete other human species now became the foundation for rapid cultural and technological advancement. The agricultural revolution. As the last surviving human species, Homo sapiens stood at the precipice of a monumental shift that would forever alter the course of human history. Around 12,000 years ago, our ancestors began to transition from their nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyles to a radically different way of life: agriculture. This transformation, known as the agricultural revolution, would reshape not just how humans lived, but the very structure of their societies and their relationship with the environment. The domestication of plants and animals marked the beginning of this profound change. In Mesopotamia, the citizens of Eridu developed techniques to harvest cereal grains like wheat and barley, laying the groundwork for one of the world's first urban centers. This process of cultivating and processing food was labor-intensive, involving the use of hand mills consisting of two stones to crush the grains into edible form. The ability to produce a stable and plentiful food source had far-reaching consequences, supporting larger populations and enabling the growth of complex societies. Interestingly, the agricultural revolution was not confined to a single region. Research indicates that early agricultural societies developed independently in multiple areas around the world, showcasing a parallel evolution of farming practices. The Indus Valley and ancient China, for instance, saw the emergence of agriculture around the same time as Mesopotamia. This simultaneous development in diverse regions highlights the universal human capacity for innovation and adaptation to changing environmental conditions. The shift to agriculture brought about a fundamental reorganization of human society. The ability to produce surplus food led to the development of specialized labor and social hierarchies. The Sumerian civilization provides a prime example of this transformation, where a complex social structure emerged to manage resources and labor. This new societal framework included distinct roles for peasants, artisans, merchants, and bureaucrats, each contributing to the functioning of an increasingly sophisticated community. Perhaps one of the most significant outcomes of the agricultural revolution was the establishment of permanent settlements. As humans transitioned from nomadic lifestyles to settled farming communities, the foundation was laid for the rise of the first cities. Eridu, in Mesopotamia, serves as a remarkable example of this urban growth. Thanks to agricultural advancements, Eridu's population swelled to over 50,000 residents, marking it as one of the earliest urban centers in human history. This shift from small, mobile groups to large, stationary populations had profound implications for human social organization, governance, and cultural development. However, the transition to agriculture was not without its challenges. The agricultural revolution brought with it a host of new problems that our ancestors had to navigate. The shift to a more sedentary lifestyle and changes in diet led to a decrease in average height, with men averaging 5'3" and women 5 tall. This reduction in stature was likely a result of nutritional deficiencies and increased physical stress associated with agricultural labor. Additionally, the concentration of large populations in permanent settlements created ideal conditions for the spread of diseases, posing new threats to human health. The agricultural revolution also saw the emergence of social inequality on a scale previously unseen in human history. As societies became more complex and hierarchical, disparities in wealth and power began to grow. The surplus food production allowed for the accumulation of resources by certain individuals or groups, leading to the creation of elite classes and the potential for exploitation of labor. This stark departure from the relatively egalitarian structure of hunter-gatherer societies would have far-reaching consequences for human social dynamics and political organization. Despite these challenges, the agricultural revolution laid the foundation for the development of complex civilizations. The ability to support larger populations and produce food surpluses enabled societies to grow in size and complexity, leading to innovations in governance, trade, and culture. This transformation was crucial for the emergence of powerful city-states and empires that would shape the course of human history. The birth of civilization in Mesopotamia. As agricultural societies flourished, one region emerged as a crucible of unprecedented human achievement. In the land between the Tigris and Euphrates, a civilization arose that would introduce concepts so fundamental we still rely on them today. This area, known as Mesopotamia, became the birthplace of urban life as we know it, fostering innovations that would shape the course of human history for millennia to come. The Sumerian city of Eridu, established around 4000 BCE, stands as a testament to the transformative power of human ingenuity. As one of the world's first urban centers, Eridu faced a unique set of challenges that demanded creative solutions. The arid climate of Mesopotamia posed a significant obstacle to sustaining a large population. But the Sumerians rose to meet this challenge with remarkable resourcefulness. At the heart of Sumerian success lay their mastery of water management. They developed advanced irrigation systems that allowed for intensive agriculture in an otherwise inhospitable environment. By diverting water from the Tigris and Euphrates rivers through a network of canals and channels, the Sumerians transformed the landscape into fertile farmland. This innovation enabled them to cultivate crops such as wheat and barley on a scale previously unimaginable, providing a stable food supply for their growing urban populations. As Sumerian cities expanded, so did the complexity of their social and economic structures. The need to manage resources, track trade, and administer increasingly intricate societies gave rise to one of the most significant inventions in human history: writing. Initially developed for record-keeping purposes, The Sumerian cuneiform script revolutionized the way information could be stored and transmitted. This groundbreaking development facilitated the administration of complex societies and the documentation of laws and trade, laying the foundation for all future written communication. The growth of urban centers brought with it new challenges of governance and social order. In response, the Sumerians created centralized government structures and legal systems to maintain stability in their burgeoning cities. This organizational innovation reached its apex centuries later with the establishment of King Hammurabi's comprehensive legal code, which included 282 laws covering various aspects of Mesopotamian life. This codification of laws and establishment of a formal justice system represented a significant step forward in the development of organized society. Technological advancements played a crucial role in the rise of Mesopotamian civilization. The invention of the wheel revolutionized transportation, allowing for more efficient movement of goods and people. This innovation, coupled with advances in bronze metallurgy, had far-reaching implications for both commerce and warfare. The ability to produce stronger, more durable tools and weapons contributed to the efficiency and power of Sumerian city-states, enabling them to expand their influence and defend their territories. Religion played a central role in Sumerian society, intertwining with nearly every aspect of daily life and governance. The Sumerians developed a complex pantheon of deities, each associated with different natural phenomena and human activities. Temples served as both religious and administrative centers, acting as focal points for community life and playing a crucial role in the distribution of resources. This integration of religious and civic functions helped to reinforce social cohesion and provided a framework for addressing the spiritual and practical needs of the population. The innovations that emerged in Mesopotamia during this period of rapid urbanization and societal development had profound and lasting impacts. The systems of writing, law, and technology established by the Sumerians laid the groundwork for future civilizations, influencing subsequent cultures in the region and beyond. The concept of organized urban living, with its complex social hierarchies and specialized labor, would become a template for human societies across the globe. The rise of ancient Egypt. As the Sumerians were developing their city-states, a different kind of civilization was emerging along the banks of a legendary river. The Nile, with its predictable annual flooding, would become the lifeblood of one of history's most enduring empires. Around 3100 BCE, a pivotal moment occurred when Upper and Lower Egypt were unified, marking the beginning of the Egyptian dynastic period. This unification set the stage for a centralized government that would persist for millennia, shaping the course of human history. The Nile River played a crucial role in the development of Egyptian civilization, providing a stable source of water and fertile soil that allowed agriculture to flourish in an otherwise harsh desert environment. Each year, the Nile's floodwaters would recede, leaving behind a layer of nutrient-rich silt along its banks. This natural phenomenon created ideal conditions for farming, enabling the ancient Egyptians to cultivate crops such as wheat and barley on a massive scale. Recognizing the potential of this annual gift, the Egyptians developed a complex system of irrigation to maximize agricultural productivity. They constructed an intricate network of canals and basins to control the flow of water from the Nile, effectively extending the reach of the river's life-giving properties. This ingenious system allowed them to cultivate land far beyond the immediate banks of the Nile, transforming vast swathes of desert into fertile farmland. The stability provided by this agricultural abundance allowed the Egyptian civilization to flourish and grow in complexity. With a reliable food supply, the the population expanded and social structures became more sophisticated. A hierarchical society emerged, with the pharaoh at its apex, followed by a class of nobles, priests, and bureaucrats who played key roles in governance and religious practices. One of the most striking manifestations of Egypt's organizational capabilities was the construction of monumental architecture, particularly the pyramids. These colossal structures were not merely tombs for the pharaohs, but served as potent symbols of power and a means to ensure their immortality. The construction of the pyramids required an immense labor force and sophisticated engineering knowledge, demonstrating the ability of the Egyptian state to mobilize resources on an unprecedented scale. The development of hieroglyphic writing was another crucial innovation that contributed to the longevity and sophistication of Egyptian civilization. This complex system of pictorial symbols allowed for the preservation of knowledge and the maintenance of detailed administrative records. Scribes, a highly respected class in Egyptian society, used hieroglyphs to document everything from religious texts to tax records, enabling the efficient management of a vast and complex society. Egyptian religious beliefs, particularly those centered around the afterlife, profoundly influenced their culture and society. The concept of immortality and the belief in a complex afterlife led to elaborate burial practices and the construction of monumental tombs. Pyramids were filled with offerings and treasures intended to accompany the pharaoh into the next world, reflecting the Egyptian belief in the continuation of life after death. This focus on the afterlife permeated every aspect of Egyptian culture, from art and architecture to daily rituals and social practices. The preservation of the body through mummification, the creation of intricate funerary art, and the construction of massive tomb complexes all stemmed from these deeply held beliefs. The religious ideology of ancient Egypt not only shaped their understanding of the world, but also served as a unifying force for the civilization, providing a shared sense of purpose and identity. Egypt's stable agricultural base and centralized government allowed for remarkable cultural and technological achievements. The surplus of food produced by their advanced agricultural techniques freed up significant portions of the population to specialize in other areas, such as artisanship, scholarship, and religious practices. This specialization led to advancements in fields such as mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, many of which would influence neighboring civilizations throughout the Mediterranean and beyond. The Indus Valley civilization. While Egypt's achievements spread far and wide, another ancient civilization was quietly revolutionizing urban living. The Indus Valley civilization, emerging around 3300 BCE in modern-day Pakistan and northwest India, stands out as one of the most advanced urban societies of its time, despite lacking the monumental structures and clear evidence of powerful rulers that characterized many of its contemporaries. The cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro exemplified the remarkable urban planning and sanitation systems that set the Indus Valley civilization apart. These metropolises featured sophisticated layouts with grid patterns, indicating a high level of organization and forethought in their design. The streets were meticulously arranged, creating an efficient network for transportation and commerce within the urban centers. Perhaps the most striking aspect of these cities was their advanced sanitation systems. In Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, residents enjoyed amenities that were unheard of in most other ancient civilizations. Toilets were built with a seat and a chute leading to an underground drainage system, effectively carrying sewage away from homes through a network of covered drains. This sophisticated waste management system played a crucial role in maintaining hygiene and preventing the spread of disease within the densely populated urban areas. The commitment to sanitation extended beyond the confines of individual homes. Research indicates that waste from these systems was treated and disposed of outside city limits, further contributing to the cleanliness and hygiene of the urban environment. This focus on public health and sanitation stands in stark contrast to other ancient civilizations that often prioritized monumental architecture over basic infrastructure and public works. The Indus Valley civilization's emphasis on urban planning and sanitation was complemented by other technological and social advancements. One such innovation was the development of a standardized system of weights and measures. This system facilitated trade across the region, allowing for consistent transactions and contributing to the economic stability of the civilization. The standardization of weights and measures indicates a level of social organization and economic sophistication that was advanced for its time. Another intriguing aspect of the Indus Valley civilization is its writing system. The Indus script, which remains undeciphered to this day, suggests that the civilization had a sophisticated system of record keeping. The existence of this script indicates a level of literacy and administrative capability that was highly advanced for its time. While the inability to decipher the script has left many questions unanswered, it nonetheless provides evidence of a complex and organized society. One of the most striking features of the Indus Valley civilization is the apparent lack of warfare and social stratification. Unlike other ancient civilizations, there is little evidence of powerful rulers or significant social hierarchies. This suggests a uniquely egalitarian approach to governance and social organization. The absence of grand palaces, elaborate tombs, or monumental statues dedicated to rulers further supports this hypothesis. The focus on urban planning and public works in the Indus Valley civilization created a model of sustainable urban living that was far ahead of its time. This emphasis on infrastructure and sanitation set a precedent for future civilizations, showcasing the importance of these elements in the development of complex societies. The Indus Valley people demonstrated that a civilization could thrive without relying on monumental architecture or the glorification of rulers, the foundations of Chinese civilization. As the Indus Valley civilization showcased the potential of urban planning, another ancient society was laying the foundations for what would become the world's longest-lasting civilization. Around 2100 BCE, the legendary Xia dynasty marked the beginning of Chinese dynastic history, setting in motion a series of innovations and philosophical concepts that would shape Chinese society for millennia to come. The vast and diverse landscape of China presented significant challenges to establishing a unified civilization. From the fertile plains of the Yellow River to the rugged mountains of the West, early Chinese rulers faced the daunting task of governing a territory with varied climates, resources, and populations. It was in this context that the legendary figure of Yu the Great emerged, celebrated for his efforts to control the devastating floods of the Yellow River. According to legend, Yu spent 13 years working tirelessly on flood control measures, including the construction of levees and dikes. This monumental effort not only saved countless lives and protected valuable agricultural land, but also demonstrated the power of large-scale engineering projects in shaping the natural environment. Yu's success in taming the Yellow River established a precedent for future Chinese rulers, emphasizing the importance of water management in maintaining social stability and agricultural productivity. The development of bronze metallurgy during the Xia and subsequent Shang dynasty played a crucial role in solidifying political and military power. Advanced weaponry crafted from bronze gave early Chinese armies a significant advantage in warfare. while intricately designed ritual objects reinforced the authority of the ruling elite. These bronze artifacts, many of which have survived to the present day, provide valuable insights into the technological sophistication and artistic achievements of early Chinese civilization. As Chinese society grew more complex, the need for a system of written communication became increasingly apparent. The evolution of Chinese writing can be traced back to oracle bone inscriptions used during the Shang dynasty. These early forms of writing, primarily used for divination and record keeping, laid the groundwork for the development of the complex character-based system that would eventually unify the diverse linguistic landscape of China. The ability to record and transmit information through writing was instrumental in the development of a centralized bureaucracy, a key factor in maintaining control over the expanding Chinese territory. This administrative system allowed for effective governance and resource management across vast distances, enabling the early dynasties to consolidate their power and extend their influence. Perhaps one of the most significant philosophical concepts to emerge from early Chinese civilization was the mandate of heaven. This idea, which took shape during the Zhou dynasty, provided a powerful justification for imperial rule, while also establishing a framework for legitimate rebellion against unjust rulers. The mandate of heaven rested on four key principles. Heaven grants the emperor the right to rule. There can only be one legitimate ruler at a time. The emperor's virtue determines their right to rule, and no dynasty has a permanent claim to power, as heaven can signal its displeasure through natural disasters or social unrest. This concept had far-reaching implications for Chinese political thought and social organization. It established a divine basis for imperial authority while simultaneously placing limits on that power. The emperor was seen as a mediator between heaven and earth, responsible for maintaining harmony and ensuring the well-being of their subjects. However, the mandate of heaven also provided a justification for overthrowing corrupt or ineffective rulers, as natural disasters or social upheaval could be interpreted as signs that a dynasty had lost heaven's favor. The agricultural innovations pioneered by early Chinese dynasties, combined with the philosophical and administrative frameworks they established, created a resilient and adaptive civilization, capable of withstanding centuries of change and challenge. The emphasis on flood control and irrigation techniques ensured stable food production, even in the face of environmental challenges. Meanwhile, the development of a sophisticated bureaucracy allowed for efficient governance of an ever-expanding empire. The birth of Greek city-states. As the agricultural innovations of early Chinese dynasties laid the groundwork for a unified empire across the Mediterranean, a radically different approach to civilization was taking shape. Around 800 BCE, the Greek world began to emerge from the Dark Ages that followed the collapse of Mycenaean civilization, marking a significant shift in political and cultural development. The unique geography of Greece, with its mountainous terrain and numerous islands, made centralized control difficult, leading to the development of independent city-states, or poleis, each with its own government and culture. This fragmented landscape gave rise to a diverse tapestry of political systems, from oligarchies to tyrannies, and eventually to one of the most influential forms of government in Western history, democracy. The city-state of Athens, in particular, revolutionized political thought with its participatory form of governance. The Athenian democracy involved a complex system with the Council of 500 and the Assembly, where citizens could vote on various matters affecting the polis. However, this system was not without its critics. The renowned philosopher Plato argued that a randomly selected member of the Council of 500 could not possess the necessary knowledge to govern effectively. Instead, he advocated for a philosopher king who would be educated in wisdom and justice, believing that only such a ruler could truly lead a just society. The Greek city-states' influence extended far beyond their immediate borders, driven by the need for resources as the land they occupied was often infertile. The Greeks embarked on a period of extensive colonization. At its height, the Greek city-state of Miletus had established over 90 colonies throughout Europe, producing food for the Greeks and spreading Hellenic culture across the Mediterranean. This expansion not only alleviated resource pressures, but also facilitated the exchange of ideas and cultural practices, further enriching Greek civilization. The intellectual ferment within the Greek world during this period laid the foundations for Western philosophy and science. Figures such as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle made significant contributions to various fields of knowledge, developing methods of inquiry and logical reasoning that continue to influence modern thought. Their teachings and writings explored fundamental questions about the nature of reality, ethics, politics, and the human condition, establishing a tradition of critical thinking that would shape Western intellectual discourse for millennia to come. The cultural achievements of the Greek city-states were not limited to the realm of ideas. The development of monumental architecture and sculpture during this period created enduring artistic standards that would influence generations of artists and architects. The Parthenon, with its harmonious proportions and intricate sculptures, stands as a testament to the Greeks' mastery of form and their ability to imbue stone with a sense of divine beauty. These artistic innovations reflected the Greeks' preoccupation with balance, proportion, and the ideal human form, concepts that would resonate throughout Western art history. The impact of Greek culture on Western civilization cannot be overstated. From systems of government to philosophical inquiry, from artistic expression to scientific methodology, the achievements of the Greek city-states continue to shape our modern world. The concept of citizenship and political participation, first developed in Athens, remains a cornerstone of democratic societies. The emphasis on rational inquiry and debate, fostered in the agoras of Greek polis, underpins modern scientific and academic discourse. The Roman Republic and Empire. As the Greek city-states grappled with democratic ideals, a small settlement on the banks of the Tiber River was about to embark on a journey of unprecedented expansion. In 509 BCE, the Roman Republic was established, marking a significant shift in political power and governance. This new system introduced a complex structure of elected officials, including consuls and senators, which allowed for a degree of representation and checks on power unprecedented in the ancient world. The fledgling republic faced constant threats from neighboring powers, necessitating the development of a strong military organization. The Roman military became renowned for its discipline and innovative tactics, particularly the use of the legion. This highly organized unit allowed for flexibility and effectiveness in battle, adapting to various combat situations with ease. The legions were composed of heavily armed infantry, and their success in conquests was attributed to rigorous training and strategic formations. As Rome's military prowess grew, so did its legal system. The development of Roman law provided a robust framework for governance and expansion, establishing principles that would influence legal systems across the world for millennia to come. This legal foundation, combined with military might, set the stage for Rome's transformation from a city-state to a vast empire. The Roman road system played a crucial role in this expansion. These expertly engineered highways facilitated rapid troop movements, enhanced trade, and improved communication across the growing territories. The roads became the arteries of the empire, allowing for efficient administration and cultural exchange throughout the conquered lands. As Rome's influence spread, it encountered and absorbed diverse cultures, most notably that of the Greeks. The adoption and adaptation of Greek culture led to the creation of a unique Greco-Roman civilization. This cultural synthesis blended elements of art, philosophy, and governance from both societies, creating a rich tapestry that would define Western civilization for centuries to come. The transition from republic to empire marked a pivotal moment in Roman history. In 27 BCE, Augustus became the first Roman emperor, ushering in an era of centralized power and extensive reforms. This shift strengthened the central government and accelerated the empire's territorial expansion. Augustus implemented changes that streamlined administration, improved infrastructure, and consolidated military control, laying the groundwork for the Pax Romana, a period of relative peace and stability across the Roman world. Under imperial rule, Rome's reach expanded dramatically. At its height, the Roman Empire encompassed vast swathes of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. This unprecedented territorial control allowed for the spread of Roman culture, language, and institutions across diverse regions. The empire's ability to assimilate local customs while maintaining a cohesive Roman identity was key to its longevity and influence. The Roman Empire's impact on the ancient world was profound and far-reaching. Its system of governance, legal principles, and cultural achievements left an indelible mark on Western civilization. The empire's fall would not erase its legacy. Rather, it would transform and evolve, shaping the development of European nations for centuries to come. The Silk Road and cultural exchange. As the Roman Empire's influence waned, a new force began to reshape the ancient world. The Silk Road, a vast network of trade routes connecting East Asia and the Mediterranean, emerged around 200 BCE. This complex web of commerce and cultural exchange would have profound implications for the development of civilizations across Eurasia, rivaling even the impact of Rome's extensive conquests. The Silk Road was not a single, defined path, but rather a series of interconnected routes that spanned thousands of miles. These routes traversed some of the most challenging terrains on Earth, from treacherous mountain passes to scorching deserts. The vast distances and diverse cultures along the Silk Road posed significant challenges to long-distance trade and communication. Merchants had to navigate complex political landscapes, overcome language barriers, and adapt to vastly different cultural norms as they moved from one region to another. Despite these obstacles, the potential rewards of Silk Road trade were immense. The exchange of goods, including silk, spices, and precious metals, stimulated economic growth across Eurasia. Silk, in particular, became a highly prized commodity in the West, with Roman elites willing to pay exorbitant prices for the luxurious fabric. This demand created a ripple effect, stimulating production and trade in regions thousands of miles apart. However, the impact of the Silk Road extended far beyond mere economic exchange. Research reveals that these trade routes facilitated the spread of technologies that would have profound impacts on societies along the way. One of the most significant of these was papermaking, a Chinese invention that revolutionized record-keeping and the dissemination of knowledge. As this technology spread westward, it laid the groundwork for future advancements in printing and literacy. Another Chinese innovation that traveled along the Silk Road was gunpowder. Initially developed for medicinal and ceremonial purposes, gunpowder would eventually transform warfare and geopolitics across Eurasia. Its spread along the trade routes demonstrates how seemingly innocuous cultural exchanges could have far-reaching and unexpected consequences. The Silk Road also served as a conduit for the transmission of religious ideas, reshaping the spiritual landscape of numerous civilizations. Buddhism, which originated in India, spread eastward along the trade routes, profoundly influencing Chinese culture and philosophy. Later, Islam would follow a similar path, with Muslim merchants and missionaries carrying their faith across Central Asia and beyond. These religious exchanges were not merely spiritual in nature, but had tangible impacts on art, architecture, and social structures. Buddhist cave temples carved into the cliffs along the Silk Road stand as enduring testaments to this cultural cross-pollination. Similarly, the spread of Islamic architectural styles can be traced along these trade routes, with distinctive domes and minarets appearing in cities thousands of miles from their origin. The transmission of scientific knowledge and mathematical concepts along the Silk Road enriched intellectual traditions across different civilizations. Greek and Indian astronomical knowledge found its way to China, while Chinese innovations in mathematics and navigation traveled westward. This exchange of ideas fostered a climate of intellectual curiosity and cross-cultural learning that would have lasting impacts on scientific progress. The cultural exchange, facilitated by the Silk Road, led to the development of new art forms and architectural styles. As different cultures interacted and shared their artistic traditions, novel forms of expression emerged. Textiles, ceramics, and metalwork from various regions along the route began to incorporate motifs and techniques from distant lands, creating unique hybrid styles that reflected the cosmopolitan nature of Silk Road trade. The Silk Road created a complex network of cultural and economic connections across the ancient world, laying the groundwork for future globalization. These connections fostered a level of interdependence and cultural exchange that was unprecedented in human history. Cities along the route became melting pots of diverse cultures, where merchants, scholars, and pilgrims from different lands could interact and exchange ideas. The Islamic Golden Age. While Europe grappled with the challenges of the Middle Ages, a remarkable era of intellectual and cultural flourishing was unfolding in the Islamic world. The rise of Islam in the 7th century CE had led to the rapid expansion of Muslim empires across the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Europe. This vast and diverse empire presented unique challenges in governance and knowledge management, spurring innovative solutions that would shape the course of human history. At the heart of this intellectual renaissance was the House of Wisdom in Baghdad, established during the reign of the Abbasid Caliph Al-Ma'mun. This institution became a beacon of learning, attracting scholars from various cultures and backgrounds. The House of Wisdom served as a center for the translation and preservation of ancient texts, ensuring that the wisdom of classical civilizations would not be lost to time. Scholars meticulously translated works from Greek, Persian, and Indian sources, creating a vast repository of knowledge that would form the foundation for future scientific and philosophical advancements. The preservation of ancient Greek and Roman texts was particularly significant. As Europe struggled through a period of cultural and intellectual decline, Islamic scholars were not only safeguarding this knowledge, but also building upon it. They critically examined and expanded on the works of Aristotle, Ptolemy, and Galen, among others, setting the stage for a new era of scientific inquiry. One of the most profound contributions of the Islamic Golden Age was in the field of mathematics. The Persian mathematician Al-Khwarizmi made groundbreaking advancements in algebra, a discipline whose very name derives from the Arabic al-Jabr. His work on algorithms and algebraic solutions laid the foundation for modern mathematics and computer science. The introduction of the decimal system and the concept of zero, borrowed from Indian mathematics and refined by Islamic scholars, revolutionized numerical calculations and paved the way for advanced scientific and astronomical computations. In the realm of medicine, Islamic scholars made significant strides that would influence healthcare practices for centuries to come. Physicians like Al-Razi and Ibn Sina, known in the West as Rahizes and Avicenna, made notable contributions to anatomy, pharmacology, and hospital care. Their comprehensive medical encyclopedias, such as Al-Razi's Kitab al-Hawi and Ibn Sina's The Canon of Medicine, became standard textbooks in both Islamic and European medical schools well into the 17th century. These works combined Greek medical knowledge with observations and discoveries made by Islamic physicians, advancing the understanding of diseases, treatments, and surgical techniques. The Islamic Golden Age was not limited to scientific pursuits. It also saw a flourishing of the arts and architecture. The patronage of ruling caliphs and wealthy individuals led to the development of distinctive Islamic artistic and architectural styles. Intricate geometric patterns, a hallmark of Islamic art, adorned everything from textiles to architectural elements. These designs, often incorporating mathematical principles, reflected the Islamic emphasis on unity and order in the universe. The architectural achievements of this era were equally impressive. Grand mosques and palaces were constructed throughout the Islamic world, showcasing the artistic and cultural advancements of the empires. The Great Mosque of Samarra in Iraq, with its iconic spiral minaret, and the Alhambra in Granada, Spain, with its intricate stucco work and serene courtyards, stand as testaments to the sophistication and beauty of Islamic architecture. These structures not only served religious and political functions, but also became centers of learning and cultural exchange. The impact of the Islamic Golden Age extended far beyond the borders of the Muslim world. As trade routes like the Silk Road facilitated the exchange of goods, they also became conduits for the transmission of knowledge and ideas. Islamic scholarship began to trickle into Europe through contact points such as Muslim-controlled Spain and Sicily. Translations of Arabic texts into Latin introduced European scholars to classical works that had been lost to the West, as well as to the advancements made by Islamic thinkers. The European Middle Ages, the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, marked a profound shift in European history, ushering in an era of significant political, social, and economic transformation. As imperial authority crumbled, the continent faced a period of fragmentation and instability. The once unified regions splintered into numerous smaller kingdoms, each grappling with the challenges of governance and survival in a rapidly changing landscape. In response to this new reality, a novel system of social and political organization emerged: feudalism. This complex hierarchy was built on the foundations of land ownership and personal loyalty. Lords, who held vast tracts of land, granted portions of their estates to vassals in exchange for military service and other obligations. This arrangement created a web of interdependence that stretched from the highest nobility to the lowest peasantry. While feudalism provided a degree of stability and protection in uncertain times, it also entrenched social inequalities and limited social mobility. Amid the political upheaval, monasteries emerged as crucial bastions of knowledge and innovation. These religious institutions became the guardians of classical learning, preserving ancient texts through meticulous copying and study. Monks dedicated themselves to the preservation of works from antiquity, ensuring that the intellectual achievements of Greece and Rome were not lost to time. This monastic tradition of scholarship would later play a vital role in the transmission of knowledge from the ancient world to the Renaissance. However, the contributions of monasteries extended far beyond the realm of intellectual preservation. These centers of learning also became hubs of agricultural innovation, developing and refining techniques that would transform European farming. The introduction of crop rotation and improved ploughing methods significantly increased agricultural productivity, bolstering food security for local populations. These advancements were crucial in supporting the gradual recovery and growth of European society following the collapse of Roman infrastructure. As the political landscape of Europe shifted, the Catholic Church emerged as a unifying force, providing a sense of continuity and shared identity across diverse regions. The Church's influence permeated all aspects of medieval life, from education and governance to art and architecture. Ecclesiastical authority often filled the vacuum left by the absence of strong secular rule, with religious institutions providing essential services and guidance to communities. The power and reach of the Church were dramatically demonstrated by the launch of the Crusades in the late 11th century. These military expeditions, ostensibly aimed at reclaiming the Holy Land from Muslim control, had far-reaching consequences for European society. The Crusades brought increased contact and conflict between European and Middle Eastern civilizations, catalyzing cultural exchanges that would have lasting impacts on both regions. European exposure to advanced Islamic scholarship in fields such as medicine and science sparked new avenues of inquiry and learning. As the Middle Ages progressed, Europe experienced a gradual but significant economic revival. The growth of towns and the expansion of long-distance trade networks marked the transition from a predominantly agrarian society to one with increasingly diverse economic activities. This period saw the rise of a new social class, merchants and artisans who formed the nascent middle class. Their activities stimulated commerce and fostered the development of more sophisticated financial systems. The High Middle Ages witnessed remarkable advancements in various fields. Gothic architecture, exemplified by soaring cathedrals, pushed the boundaries of engineering and artistic expression. The founding of universities in cities like Bologna, Paris, and Oxford created new centers of learning and intellectual discourse. These institutions would play a crucial role in the development and dissemination of knowledge, laying the groundwork for future scientific and philosophical breakthroughs. By the late Middle Ages, Europe had developed a set of distinct political and cultural institutions that set the stage for the Renaissance and the emergence of modern nation-states. The gradual centralization of power in the hands of monarchs began to challenge the decentralized feudal order. This shift towards more centralized governance was accompanied by the codification of laws and the development of more sophisticated administrative systems. The Renaissance and the Age of Exploration. As Europe emerged from the medieval period, a transformative intellectual and cultural movement was about to reshape the foundations of society. The Renaissance, originating in 14th century Italy, marked a period of rebirth that would profoundly alter European thought, art, and science. This era of revival was characterized by a renewed interest in classical knowledge, which sparked innovative approaches to understanding the world and humanity's place within it. The rediscovery and translation of ancient Greek and Roman texts played a pivotal role in stimulating new intellectual pursuits. Scholars pored over these works, extracting ideas that had been largely forgotten or misunderstood during the Middle Ages. This resurgence of classical learning led to significant advancements in various fields, from philosophy to mathematics. The humanist movement, which emphasized the value and potential of individual achievement, emerged as a central tenet of Renaissance thought. encouraging a more secular and rational approach to scholarship. In the realm of art, the Renaissance ushered in revolutionary techniques that forever changed visual representation. The development of linear perspective allowed artists to create more realistic and three-dimensional images on two-dimensional surfaces. This marked a significant departure from the flat, stylized representations that had dominated medieval art. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo pushed the boundaries of artistic expression, combining scientific observation with creative vision to produce works of unprecedented realism and emotional depth. The dissemination of knowledge during the Renaissance was dramatically accelerated by a technological innovation that would prove to be one of the most consequential in human history. The invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg in the mid-15th century revolutionized the production and distribution of books. This innovation made written works more accessible and affordable, contributing to a rapid spread of ideas across Europe. The ability to mass-produce texts not only facilitated the exchange of knowledge, but also standardized language and promoted literacy among a broader segment of the population. As intellectual horizons expanded within Europe, a parallel movement of geographic exploration was taking shape. Advances in shipbuilding and navigation techniques enabled long-distance ocean voyages that were previously unthinkable. European mariners, equipped with more accurate maps and improved navigational instruments, set sail into uncharted waters. The voyages of explorers such as Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama opened up new territories for European powers, leading to significant economic and cultural exchanges that would reshape global trade. The exploration of the Americas and the discovery of new trade routes to Asia dramatically expanded European horizons. These journeys not only brought immense wealth to European nations through the acquisition of new resources and trade opportunities, but also facilitated a profound exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. The influx of new plants, animals, and commodities from the Americas, known as the Columbian Exchange, had far-reaching effects on diet, agriculture, and economics in both the Old and New Worlds. The Age of Exploration also had profound implications for scientific knowledge. Encounters with new lands, peoples, and natural phenomena challenged existing worldviews and stimulated scientific inquiry. Explorers' observations of unfamiliar flora, fauna, and celestial bodies contributed to advancements in botany, zoology, and astronomy. The need for accurate navigation tools spurred developments in mathematics and cartography, while the demands of long sea voyages led to improvements in shipbuilding and medicine. However, the Age of Exploration also had darker consequences. The European conquest of the Americas led to the decimation of indigenous populations through disease, warfare, and exploitation. The transatlantic slave trade, which forcibly transported millions of Africans to the Americas, caused immense human suffering and had lasting demographic and social impacts on 3 continents. The Renaissance and the Age of Exploration were interconnected movements that collectively reshaped European society and its relationship with the wider world. The revival of classical learning, combined with new discoveries and technologies, fostered an environment of intellectual curiosity and innovation. This period of cultural and scientific flowering laid the groundwork for further advancements in human knowledge and understanding. The Scientific Revolution and Enlightenment. As Europe emerged from the Renaissance, a new intellectual movement was brewing that would fundamentally alter humanity's relationship with knowledge and the natural world. The scientific revolution, beginning in the 16th century, marked a seismic shift in how humans approached the pursuit of understanding. This transformation challenged long-held beliefs and traditional sources of authority, ushering in an era of empirical observation and experimentation. At the heart of this revolution was the development of the scientific method, a systematic approach to investigating natural phenomena. This method emphasized careful observation, the formulation of hypotheses, rigorous experimentation, and the validation of results. By providing a structured framework for inquiry, the scientific method allowed researchers to build upon each other's work, leading to a rapid acceleration of discovery and innovation. One of the most profound challenges to established wisdom came from the Polish astronomer Nicholas Copernicus. His heliocentric model proposed that the Earth and other planets revolve around the Sun, directly contradicting the geocentric view that had dominated Western thought for centuries. This radical idea not only revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos, but also questioned the authority of religious and classical texts that had long been considered infallible. Building on Copernicus's work, other astronomers like Johannes Kepler and Galileo Galilei further refined our understanding of celestial mechanics. Galileo's use of the telescope to observe the moons of Jupiter and the phases of Venus provided empirical evidence supporting the heliocentric model, demonstrating the power of new technologies in advancing scientific knowledge. Perhaps no single figure embodies the spirit of the scientific revolution more than Sir Isaac Newton. His laws of motion and universal gravitation provided a mathematical framework for understanding the physical world, unifying the mechanics of earthly and celestial bodies under a single set of principles. Newton's work demonstrated that the universe operated according to knowable, predictable laws, rather than the capricious whims of supernatural forces. The impact of these scientific advancements extended far beyond the realm of natural philosophy. As the scientific revolution progressed, its methods and principles began to influence other areas of human inquiry, giving rise to the Enlightenment. This intellectual movement applied rational inquiry and empirical methods to social and political issues, challenging traditional sources of authority and promoting new ideas about individual rights and governance. Enlightenment thinkers such as John Locke and Voltaire questioned the divine right of kings and the role of organized religion in society. They advocated for principles of liberty, equality, and the social contract, arguing that legitimate government derived its authority from the consent of the governed rather than divine mandate. These ideas would go on to profoundly influence modern democratic thought and the development of representative government. The French philosopher René Descartes exemplified the Enlightenment's emphasis on rational inquiry with his famous dictum, "I think, therefore I am." This simple statement encapsulated a new approach to knowledge that prioritized individual reason and skepticism over blind acceptance of authority. Descartes' method of systematic doubt, which involved questioning all preconceived notions and accepting only those ideas that could withstand rigorous scrutiny, became a cornerstone of Enlightenment philosophy. In England, Francis Bacon championed the importance of empirical observation and inductive reasoning in scientific inquiry. His work laid the groundwork for the establishment of scientific societies, such as the Royal Society in London, which provided forums for the exchange of ideas and the dissemination of new discoveries. These institutions played a crucial role in advancing scientific knowledge and fostering a culture of intellectual curiosity. The scientific revolution and Enlightenment were not without their critics. Some religious authorities viewed the new scientific theories as threats to established doctrine, leading to conflicts such as the infamous trial of Galileo by the Roman Catholic Church. Similarly, political rulers often saw Enlightenment ideas about individual rights and limited government as challenges to their authority. Despite these obstacles, the intellectual ferment of the scientific revolution and Enlightenment continued to spread, laying the foundations for the modern world. The emphasis on empirical observation, rational inquiry, and skepticism towards established authority fostered an environment that encouraged innovation, critical thinking, and the questioning of established norms. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, beginning in 18th century Britain, marked a profound shift from agrarian economies to industrial ones, fundamentally transforming society and the global economy. This period of rapid technological change led to unprecedented social and economic disruptions, reshaping the very fabric of human civilization. Technological innovations, particularly the development of steam power, revolutionized manufacturing and transportation. The invention of the steam engine by James Watt in 1776 provided a reliable and powerful source of energy that could be applied to various industrial processes. This innovation enabled factories to produce goods at unprecedented rates, far surpassing the output of traditional manual labor. The application of steam power to transportation, most notably in the form of railways and steamships, facilitated the movement of these goods across vast distances, connecting markets and fostering economic growth on a scale never before seen. The emergence of the factory system as a new mode of production transformed labor relations and urban development. Large-scale manufacturing facilities concentrated workers in centralized locations, leading to the rise of wage labor and altering the traditional social structures that had characterized agrarian societies. This shift in work patterns prompted massive migrations from rural areas to urban centers, as people sought employment opportunities in the burgeoning industrial cities. The rapid urbanization that ensued created new challenges, including overcrowding, sanitation issues, and social tensions, as traditional ways of life were upended. Concurrent with these changes in manufacturing and urban development, innovations in agriculture significantly increased food production. The introduction of mechanized farming techniques, such as the seed drill and the horse-drawn cultivator, improved efficiency and yields. These advancements in agricultural productivity were crucial in supporting the growing urban populations that resulted from industrialization. The ability to produce more food with less human labor also freed up a significant portion of the workforce to engage in industrial pursuits, further fueling the engine of economic transformation. The Industrial Revolution catalyzed the expansion of global trade networks, creating new economic opportunities and dependencies. As industrialized nations sought raw materials to fuel their factories and markets for their manufactured goods, they established complex trade relationships that spanned the globe. This expansion of international commerce led to the specialization of production in different regions, with countries focusing on the goods they could produce most efficiently. For example, Britain became a major exporter of textiles, while the Americas supplied raw cotton. This intricate web of global trade reshaped economic relationships between nations and laid the groundwork for the modern global economy. However, the rapid pace of industrialization also brought about significant environmental changes. The proliferation of factories led to unprecedented levels of pollution, as smoke and waste were emitted into the air and waterways. The increasing demand for raw materials to feed the industrial machine resulted in resource depletion, as forests were cleared and minerals extracted at unsustainable rates. These environmental impacts would have long-lasting consequences, shaping the relationship between human society and the natural world for generations to come. Despite these challenges, the Industrial Revolution dramatically increased productive capacity and living standards in industrialized nations. The ability to mass-produce goods made many products more affordable and accessible to a broader segment of the population. Advancements in medicine and public health, facilitated by industrial technologies, contributed to longer life expectancies and reduced infant mortality rates. The growth of industry also spurred innovations in fields such as communications and energy production, laying the foundation for many of the technologies we rely on today. The age of global conflicts. The dawn of the 20th century marked the beginning of an era characterized by global conflicts of unprecedented scale and intensity. As the world transitioned from the Industrial Revolution, the same technological advancements that had brought progress and prosperity now fueled the development of increasingly deadly weapons and military strategies. This period would witness the eruption of two world wars and a decades-long ideological struggle that would reshape the geopolitical landscape. World War I, which began in 1914, demonstrated the devastating potential of industrial warfare. The conflict saw the introduction of new technologies such as machine guns, tanks, and chemical weapons, leading to staggering casualties and widespread destruction. The war's impact was felt not only on the battlefield, but also on the home front, as entire societies were mobilized to support the war effort. The scale of the conflict and its far-reaching consequences would earn it the moniker the Great War. The aftermath of World War I set the stage for future conflicts. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, imposed heavy reparations on Germany and redrew national boundaries across Europe. These punitive measures, coupled with economic instability and political resentment, created fertile ground for the rise of extremist ideologies. In the interwar period, totalitarian regimes emerged in several European countries, posing new threats to democracy and stability. Italy saw the rise of fascism under Benito Mussolini, while in Germany, Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party capitalized on economic hardship and nationalist sentiments to seize power. The ascendancy of these authoritarian regimes, combined with unresolved tensions from World War I, ultimately led to the outbreak of World War II in 1939. This conflict would prove even more devastating than its predecessor, engulfing much of the globe and claiming tens of millions of lives. The war saw further advancements in military technology, including the development of radar, jet aircraft, and perhaps most significantly, nuclear weapons. The creation and use of atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 marked a turning point in human history. The immense destructive power of these weapons fundamentally altered the nature of global conflict and warfare. The spectre of nuclear annihilation would loom large over international relations for decades to come, influencing diplomatic strategies and military doctrines around the world. As the dust settled on World War II, a new type of conflict emerged. The Cold War divided the world into two competing ideological blocs, with the United States promoting capitalism and democracy, while the Soviet Union advocated for communism. This struggle, though never erupting into direct military confrontation between the superpowers, nonetheless shaped global politics for nearly half a century. The Cold War era was characterized by proxy wars, arms races, and intense political tensions. Conflicts in Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan became battlegrounds where the United States and Soviet Union vied for influence and tested their military might. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, highlighting the precarious nature of the global order in the atomic age. The ideological divide of the Cold War extended far beyond military confrontations. It influenced cultural production, scientific research, and economic policies around the globe. The space race, for instance, saw both superpowers pour vast resources into achieving milestones in space exploration, driven as much by national prestige as by scientific curiosity. The conflicts of the 20th century reshaped global power structures in profound ways. The United States emerged as a superpower, while European nations that had once dominated global affairs saw their influence wane. The formation of the United Nations in 1945 represented an attempt to create a forum for international cooperation and conflict resolution, though its effectiveness was often hampered by Cold War tensions. Decolonization movements gained momentum in the aftermath of World War II, leading to the independence of numerous nations in Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean. This process redrew the world map and introduced new voices and perspectives to global politics. However, many newly independent nations found themselves caught in the crossfire of Cold War rivalries, as both the United States and Soviet Union sought to expand their spheres of influence, the digital revolution and globalization. As the Cold War drew to a close, a new revolution was quietly brewing in garages and research labs across America. This transformation would redraw the world map, not with political boundaries, but with invisible networks of data. The development of computers and the internet in the late 20th century marked the beginning of the digital revolution, fundamentally altering how information is processed and shared across the globe. The rise of personal computing in the 1980s and 1990s democratized access to information and digital tools, allowing individuals to engage with technology in ways that were previously limited to large organizations. This shift empowered ordinary people to become creators, innovators, and entrepreneurs on an unprecedented scale. As computers became more affordable and user-friendly, they found their way into homes, schools, and businesses, laying the groundwork for a digital society. The internet, once a niche technology used primarily by academics and government researchers, exploded into the public consciousness in the 1990s. This global network of interconnected computers revolutionized communication and commerce, enabling instant connectivity and the rise of e-commerce platforms that have reshaped global trade. The ability to transmit vast amounts of information across vast distances at the speed of light has compressed time and space, creating a truly global village. Social media platforms emerged as a powerful force in the early 21st century, transforming how people interact and share information. These digital spaces have created new forms of community and engagement, allowing individuals to connect with like-minded people across the globe. However, the rise of social media has also raised concerns about misinformation and its impact on mental health. The ease with which false information can spread online has presented significant challenges to traditional notions of truth and authority. The digital revolution has not only changed how we communicate and consume information, but has also reshaped industries and labor markets. Artificial intelligence and automation are increasingly being integrated into various sectors, from manufacturing to healthcare. While these technologies have led to increased efficiency and productivity, they have also raised fears about job displacement and the future of work. As machines become capable of performing tasks once thought to be uniquely human, society grapples with questions about the role of human labor in an increasingly automated world. The proliferation of digital technologies has enabled new forms of surveillance and data collection, raising significant privacy concerns. Governments and corporations now have unprecedented abilities to monitor and analyze individuals' online activities, purchases, and communications. This has led to heated debates about the extent of monitoring in both public and private spheres, and the ethical implications of such pervasive data collection. The tension between security and privacy has become a defining issue of the digital age. The digital revolution has created a globally interconnected world with new forms of collaboration and conflict. While digital technologies have facilitated unprecedented levels of international cooperation in fields such as scientific research and disaster response, they have also given rise to new forms of warfare and espionage. Cyber attacks and information warfare have become potent tools in the arsenals of both state and non-state actors, blurring the lines between peacetime and conflict. As we look to the future, the ongoing evolution of digital technologies will continue to shape human civilization in profound ways. Emerging technologies such as quantum computing, blockchain, and the Internet of Things promise to further transform our world in ways we can scarcely imagine. These advancements present both exciting opportunities for innovation and daunting challenges that require careful consideration. The challenges of the 21st century. As we stand at the dawn of the 21st century, humanity faces a set of challenges unprecedented in scope and complexity. The very progress that has elevated our quality of life now threatens our existence, presenting a paradox that demands urgent attention and collective action. Climate change, perhaps the most pressing issue of our time, poses existential threats to human civilization and biodiversity. Rising temperatures are leading to extreme weather events, habitat loss, and the potential for mass migration as certain regions become uninhabitable. The consequences of our industrial progress have accelerated at an alarming rate, pushing us closer to tipping points that could irreversibly alter Earth's ecosystems. In the face of these environmental challenges, technological innovations offer a glimmer of hope. Renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, are becoming increasingly efficient and cost-effective. Carbon capture technologies, though still in their infancy, show promise in mitigating greenhouse gas emissions. However, the implementation of these solutions on a global scale requires overcoming significant political and economic hurdles. The transition to a sustainable economy demands a level of international cooperation that has proven elusive in a world still divided by national interests and short-term economic considerations. The global nature of our challenges extends beyond environmental concerns. Economic inequality, both within and between nations, has reached levels that threaten social stability and undermine the fabric of societies worldwide. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few, coupled with stagnant wages for many, has created tensions and unrest that reverberate across borders. This growing disparity not only impacts individual well-being, but also hampers our collective ability to address global issues effectively. Rapid urbanization presents both opportunities and challenges for sustainability. As cities grow, they have the potential to become hubs of innovation and efficiency in resource use. However, many urban centers struggle to accommodate burgeoning populations while minimizing environmental impacts. The development of smart cities, which leverage technology to optimize energy use, transportation, and waste management, offers a potential pathway to sustainable urban living. Yet, the implementation of these solutions requires substantial investment and coordinated planning on a scale rarely seen in human history. Advances in biotechnology and medicine promise to dramatically extend human lifespans and improve quality of life. Gene editing techniques, personalized medicine, and regenerative therapies hold the potential to cure previously intractable diseases and even slow the aging process itself. However, these developments also raise profound ethical questions about access and equity in healthcare. As these technologies become available, ensuring their equitable distribution will be crucial to preventing further exacerbation of global inequalities. The interconnected nature of our world, facilitated by digital technologies, has created unprecedented opportunities for collaboration and knowledge sharing. Yet, this same interconnectedness has also amplified the spread of misinformation and enabled new forms of conflict. Cyber attacks and information warfare have become tools in the arsenals of both state and non-state actors, challenging traditional notions of security and sovereignty. As we navigate these complex challenges, the lessons of history become ever more crucial. The successes and failures of past civilizations offer valuable insights into the importance of adaptability, innovation, and collective action. The Roman Empire's ability to assimilate local customs while maintaining a cohesive identity demonstrates the power of cultural flexibility. The Islamic Golden Age's emphasis on knowledge and scientific inquiry serves as a reminder of the transformative potential of intellectual curiosity and open exchange of ideas. The future of human civilization hinges on our ability to address these global challenges collectively. The scale and complexity of the issues we face demand a level of cooperation that transcends national borders and narrow self-interests. Just as the Silk Road facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures, fostering innovation and progress, we must forge new pathways of global collaboration. The development of international institutions, such as the United Nations, provides a framework for such cooperation, but their effectiveness depends on the commitment and engagement of all nations. As we reflect on the epic journey of human civilization, from the formation of the first atoms to our present global challenges, we are reminded of our species' remarkable capacity for adaptation and innovation. Throughout history, humanity has faced numerous obstacles, from environmental changes to societal upheavals, and each time we have emerged stronger and more resilient. The lessons of our past offer both caution and hope as we confront the unprecedented challenges of the 21st century. The potential scenarios for addressing these global issues are as diverse as they are complex. Fostering international cooperation, a strategy that has proven effective in the past, remains crucial. Investing in sustainable technologies offers a path forward in mitigating environmental threats, while promoting education empowers future generations to tackle emerging problems with creativity and insight. As we stand at this critical juncture, the choices we make today will undoubtedly shape the next chapter of human civilization, determining whether we can harness our collective ingenuity to overcome the formidable challenges that lie ahead.